Alright, and we'll be going into the route as our first map here. The route is the first one. This is in blue. Okay, and we'll be going into it in the top left hand corner, making his way all the way to the semi-finals today. It is VoLt in the red trunks. And yelling GLHF to his opponent down in the bottom right hand side. JBS, who is now taken already 2 tournaments, looking to take a third already. It is JBS. Now, VoLt is a pretty good player, actually having taken out most of the mid-tier players. We've not really seen him face off against any sort of really high-tier players like Venny or Jibs yet. But looks to be hopefully a strong showing from him. Jibs, as I've sort of said in the introduction, very, very strong player. Barely lost a never lost a best of 3, and barely dropped a map in his entire time in these tournaments. Jibs going for very slightly early house here, which is odd because he didn't time it out for fastest racks, so maybe he's going for proxy racks by the look of it. Yep, looks like it's going to be hidden proxy racks at about a minute 6 seconds, which is about when the normal, there we go, hidden off to the side, rallied in, so he's just hoping that one gets scouted, maybe play a bit of tricks on his opponent. 6 expand here from VoLt. Very good build, quite standard on most maps. This map, though, it does have 2 quite wide entrances. This one's slightly narrower, but there's still a lot of area to cover. So this is going to be really quite hard for VoLt to properly defend here. So we're going to have about another 30 seconds before this barracks finishes, and we'll see whether we get soldier or rifleman. And VoLt is going to see this empty main. Looking for the castle first, sees that it's not there. Now he's probably going to immediately pop in and spot this house. But the important thing is there's no barracks to be found. So he's probably going to be a little bit panicky because this will probably be a proxy racks. And that's just sword rack from JBS. Typically in the current meta, rifleman is a very popular opening. Just because it gives a little bit more map control and you don't have to go in quite so committed with it. But soldier is actually a very good choice for pressure. It has more damage and more health. So if you are going to commit to an attack, it is going to be a very strong option. VoLt just waiting out, trying to work out what his opponent's doing, continually seeing there's no barracks, which would be massively delayed barracks with this house first here. So he knows something is up somewhere, but he can't find it. Throws down his own house here. So he's opting to just try and get out barracks units fast enough to defend this. And they won't arrive nearly fast enough, they'll be about 2 minutes late, so we will have to pull workers here. A tower would just about maybe get up in time. But JBS's soldier is nearly at the base now, so let's see how much damage it's going to do. VoLt sending off another worker to scout while one's already out on the map. So that's interesting. A rifleman follow up here from JBS, which is going to be really nice for getting control. And now VoLt's going to see this soldier come into his base, and he's got to react well to this, because this could potentially do a lot of damage. This JBS actually harassing worker mines. If he doesn't actually kill anything, that's still alright, because he can still deny a lot of mining time. But realistically, he wants a kill. Because if he doesn't either kill him outright or do a lot of damage, he's going to be massively behind at this stage. Oh, and managing to do a little bit of micro there, just on top of the units, managing to actually do some damage. But all these units, VoLt's actually now just stacking up in his mine over here, just while he stalls and gets this out. And I don't think this is going to do much here for JBS. He might get a bit of worker damage. VoLt not microing perfectly to actually hold this back, and JBS forcing still some more pressure. This is going to be double work production here, actually forcing a mistake at VoLt here. He's not actually continuing to produce work, getting a bit of surrounding soldier. And they've just sort of traded blows at this stage. And this, in the background here, is going to be the build that JBS truly popularized very early on this map, which is the early pressure into the essentially the double base expand here, to try and recover from any economic deficit. But it looks like actually with some good control here for JBS, he doesn't want to take too much damage on the soldier, but he's going to take a pretty good engagement here. Nice control there by VoLt to try and take his work out of the way there. He's going to try and hold this choke point so he doesn't take too much damage from workers. He's not actually managed to get a single kill here, which is really not good, because he's going to down workers. You can see he's already 5 workers behind. This is continued unit production here. He is going to be able to put on a lot of pressure towards his opponent. VoLt does actually have a soldier now of his own, so this pressure is not going to do much more now. It's going to be thoroughly pushed back, and a second rack's almost finished there for VoLt. So unless JBS can get up a second rack of his own or put up a tower to defend his expansion, then he's going to have a difficult time holding this counter attack. He is doing a lot of mining time damage there. You can see, despite the better opening here from VoLt, this is probably even gold mined. But JBS is going to be, I don't know, he's still got more units pouring in here, so he's going to do some more damage. Not really making great use of his injured soldiers. He's keeping it out of the way, which is good, but he could really use it to open up entrances to do further damage. Now he's just going to take this rifleman and just try and force these soldiers back. All these really weak workers, though, are going to take a lot of damage, and he is going to pick another one off. This is 2 workers down, this is great, which is what JBS needs. And he has actually managed to pull this into even worker count now with this harassment, so it's going to put JBS in a really good position with this continued production. VoLt is going to be able to keep pumping 2 base of units, and there's a second barracks here coming now from JBS. But it's not. I don't think VoLt's going to get up enough stuff in time. JBS is keep continuing to put more pressure on. And he does have the superior unit count now. You can see he's got 5 riflemen to 2, even though he's down in soldiers. VoLt's going to try and pull some more workers now. His own some city working against him a bit here. He's hoping to maybe get behind these workers, these riflemen, but JBS sees it. He's going to pull back now. JBS just going to get even more damage done here. JBS, the second barracks just finished up in the background. Although JBS is doing a little bit of a supply block, that will be alleviated shortly. But JBS can continue to put just more and more pressure on here. There's not really much VoLt can do to stop this at the moment. Very well played out from JBS, sort of playing to the strength of the map. VoLt does actually have pretty much even unit count now. So JBS is going to be able to harass a bit, but he's not going to be able to do much damage now. But he has managed to secure himself 1 extra worker, and he does have this double expand, which is the really important bit. Because VoLt's actually saturated, so this is going to limit his income. But JBS can now just sit back, continue pumping workers. and he will actually be able to push himself much further ahead in a short while once VoLt caps out on workers. And actually, workshop coming down now for JBS. Interesting decision going for rifleman catapult. It's very popular in this meta, especially once you get onto 2 bases. But this is normally against an expansion build which uses some form of tower as a defense as opposed to units. So it is going to struggle a little bit, but the extra damage will do wonders for his engagement. Both players actually getting forged at about the same time. And VoLt actually going to move out and see what sort of damage he can do here. Forge follow-up's a really good idea because riflemen, although they fire quickly, only do 6 damage. So a single defense upgrade or a single attack upgrade can do a significant portion of their sort of damage per second, which can severely swing the battle in your favour here. JBS throwing down a forward tower to defend this base and to be able to hold off these riflemen. Not engaging that well here, getting caught in a choke a little bit, but he did manage to successfully defend the poke here and secure his base, which is more importantly his advantage. Interesting to note here, JBS going for +1 attack versus +1 defense. +1 defense is really good for defending against riflemen, especially if you're grabbing soldiers, but the attack bonus, and they will cancel each other out, the attack bonus will actually mean that JBS can put more pressure on for dealing damage to buildings, which will be really good in an aggressive position. VoLt actually trying to come down the side now. If he does get caught out here, this will probably be nearly game, because if he loses this army, it's going to be so hard to keep back up with JBS. We will see this workshop. JBS actually getting full vision here from these workers. He knows what's coming, and VoLt actually getting just nudged away carefully there by JBS's army. Tower going up there for JBS, just securing this even further. Really nice SimCity you can see. Limits the soldier availability, covers most of that choke, and plenty of repair space. So you can see even more barracks coming down now for VoLt. VoLt's just going to go for pure barracks units. VoLt's actually going to take a little bit of fire here, just want to poke out and see what his opponent's got. No upgrades coming into effect just yet, but JBS is going to push him back a little bit. VoLt actually going for a much soldier heavier style, which can be really nice, but he's going to suffer a little bit in the narrow chokes of the route. A little bit of engagement here in the middle. JBS is going to push back, see how much damage he can get away with. VoLt making a small mistake there with that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that marker's stuck. So VoLt actually has a lot less riflemen, but he does have nearly 10 soldiers, which is going to be really good if you can get them up close. You can see they're mixed into his army. They're not all at the front, which is where you want them to take the brunt of the damage with their sort of default +1 armor. And also just to take a lot of the hits as you sort of retreat, because they've got a much bigger health pool. JBS could do with spreading a little bit more. Riflemen work out quite well bunched, but it does mean they're less sort of maneuverable. VoLt actually setting up a concave here. He's got them on hold positions, so he's going to take a lot of free damage, and that catapult that's going to land on the shoulder. He's going to move in, but JBS is forming a natural choke here, just retreating as he goes, dealing a lot of damage with his catapult. These soldiers are going to do some nice work now they get to the front, but these plus attack upgrades are going to tear them apart really quickly. Catapult is going to go down here at the front. That's really expensive for JBS. But you can see now superior numbers in terms of riflemen, 12 to 5 here for JBS. He's going to absolutely push this back. So all in all, a catapult went down, but not really much else happened. JBS throwing down another forward tower. JBS just securing map control for himself. Both players letting their macros slip a little bit while they're trying to deal with this engagement. But JBS actually trading really well here and getting a lot of damage done on VoLt's army. VoLt really needs to back off and try and get an advantage another way, either by harassing or upgrading his tech. But if he continues to engage, he's just going to fall further in time You cannot trade efficiently like this.